This list could very well turn the entire leadership of the Democratic Party into a complete and absolute clown show. This is, if these allegations are true, of course. I don't want to jump the gun, but we're still going to need some evidence in order to at least back up these claims. Now, speaking of evidence, I do want to shift topics here just a little bit. I want to talk to you guys about Vice President Kamala Harris. CBS News was recently forced to release the full unedited interview that she had with 60 Minutes. This is because many people noticed that they edited a clip where she was mostly going off course with yet another word salad.
60 Minutes today posted online the unedited transcripts of its October interview with Harris that sparked a lawsuit by Trump, saying that they proved its broadcast was not, quote, doctored or deceitful. Remember, Trump filed a $10 billion lawsuit against the network in November. It was reportedly the subject of ongoing settlement talks. So there had been recent reports that CBS, of course, owned by Viacom, was going to settle in some capacity with Trump and his team. Now, in a separate track, the FCC last week called for CBS to send transcripts and clips of the interview, which CBS did before making them public today. Now, the interview with Harris, portions of which were aired on 60 Minutes and Face the Nation, it attracted attention because clips showed her giving different answers to a question about Israel that was posed by the 60 Minutes correspondent, Bill Whitaker here. So FCC Commissioner Carr in this post saying this: CBS provided with the FCC with unredacted video and transcript of Vice President Harris's 60 Minutes interview in response to the FCC's review of a news distortion complaint. He says CBS did not ask for confidential or non-public treatment of these materials. He says, given the value of transparency and the public interest here, the FCC is taking two actions. He says, one, the FCC is making these materials publicly available. And two, the FCC has concluded that establishing a docket and seeking comment on the issues raised in the complaint would serve the public interest. Carr says the people will have a chance to weigh in.
Department of Education. Protests erupt as the USAID signage has been removed amidst reports of excessive spending. President Trump announces a shocking executive order, and you're not going to believe what Tucker Carlson and Elon Musk did as they visited the president in the White House. I hope you guys are ready because we got a lot to talk about today. Starting with Representative Maxine Waters. Real quick, appreciate y'all hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and for sharing this video. You guys are amazing. So Maxine Waters is no stranger to controversy. She was the one who blew a kiss to convicted fraudster Sam Bankman-Fried after a congressional hearing. The same Bankman-Fried who stole millions of dollars to donate to political figures within the Democratic Party, no doubt. Maxine Waters also tried to incite violence against President Trump and his supporters back in 2018. It's a wonder why this lady's not already in prison.
We want it done now. We're going to insist on it. If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet. Members of your cabinet that have been booed out of restaurants, who have protesters taking up at their house, who sang no peace, no sleep, no peace, no sleep. And guess what? We're gonna win this battle because while you try and quote the Bible, Jeff Sessions and others, you really don't know the Bible. God is on our side. On the side of the children, on the side of what's right, on the side of what's honorable, on the side of understanding that if we can't protect the children, we can't protect anybody. And so, let's stay the course. Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
But here's what I want you guys to really notice. Democrats like Maxine Waters act as if they're always right, as if their actions are righteous and that their shit don't stink and that they can do no wrong. They also hurl insults and allegations at President Trump and Republicans, even though they're unfounded, allegations that are actually applicable to them. Now, I want you guys to see just how they treat federal employees that actually want to do their jobs.
House Democrats are outside the Department of Education saying they're not being allowed in as they try to oppose the Trump administration's efforts to diminish and ultimately eliminate that department.
They're probably not going to get access to this building, but the Democrats are flummoxed as to how to deal with this.
Come in.
They're blocking
I want you
us.
to see this man here, who is a federal employee. He told us.
He's not.
Are you a federal employee? Huh?
Yes.
The doors are locked. There's a security guard there. I'm guessing that's who's in the brown, tan-looking shirt.
They have a private security contractor who on his own is making decisions on behalf of the Department of Education.
Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
The ID, I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
They allow billionaires and his minions to come in
I don't
to
know
this
who
building.
he is. I don't know who he is, but I know who I am.
Do they have guns on them? Do they have guns? Are they prepared to shoot us? We want in.
This is a public institution. This is not Russia.
And is this the new tactic or strategy that Democrats are embarking upon to draw attention to the many things that are happening right now within the Trump administration? Should we expect more of these types of efforts?
Yes, you can expect more. Are you prepared to stand here all night if we decide to stay?
I guess, yeah.
How is this not harassment, right? They're talking down to a federal employee that's simply doing their job. These are the people that they say respect the Constitution, and yet they can't even respect the authority of someone who's literally standing guard for the Department of Education. Now, I also have to address the fact that them standing there with their numbers can be considered as a threat. Even Maxine Waters was trying to incite violence by talking about firearms. And you could tell a lot about a person by the way they treat employees, which shows us that just because they're members of the House, they feel empowered to push their weight around. Now, I also found it pretty hilarious that they just kept asking for the security guard's ID when they don't even care about voter IDs. And this man does not work for these politicians. In fact, it's the other way around. These politicians get paid with our taxpayer money. They work for us. Somehow they forget that. And this just shows how unhinged the left has become after President Trump ordered transparency within the federal government. Also, President Trump back in 2018, he knew what he was talking about when he called Maxine Waters an extraordinarily low IQ person. But we got to talk about why the Trump administration is zeroing in on these different agencies. Part of his campaign talked about providing us with a clear look into the spending of the government. And while they have shown us the millions of dollars wasted by USAID, many Democrats still feel as if the wasteful spending of taxpayer dollars is somehow warranted.
You don't just have a voice if you're a billionaire. You have a voice. You don't just have a voice if you're the president of the United States. You have a voice. You don't just have the voice if you're connected or elected. You have a voice.
But let's be clear, they're dismantling USAID. They shut down the doors. They brought down banners. They put thousands of people on leave. This is not a reform. This is an attack. And USAID is just the beginning. It's USAID now. It's the Department of Education next. And it's an attack on our entire democratic government system.
We are witnessing in real time the most corrupt bargain in American history. Elon Musk paid over $250 million to help elect Donald Trump. And now Donald Trump is turning over the keys to the Treasury and the rest of the federal government to Elon Musk. We need to end this illegal power grab.
Workers have already removed the USAID signage from its headquarters. But remember that the White House has already exposed the agency, citing where our money has actually been going to.
And I would just say a strong message to Democrats who are out there pretending to be outraged about the long list of crap that this administration is cutting, federal waste and funding, like $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, $20 million on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq, $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. I could go on, and I'm happy to provide this list to every single one of you. Democrats are outraged that the American people want to be, they want their taxpayers going to good uses, not stuff like this. But then they're very quiet about the fact that there are still North Carolinians and people in California who have lost everything. And in the last 4 years, this federal government did nothing to help them. This president will continue to put Americans first, and I think the successes of this week so far speak to that.
Now, it's evident by the outrage from Democrats that Elon Musk, he's probably doing something right here. He and Tucker Carlson were recently at the White House wearing giant MAGA hats. Elon Musk was also wearing a Doge Father shirt, which probably pissed off a lot of Democrats. No wonder there are protests that are happening that want Elon Musk removed from Trump's team. The president doesn't seem to agree, and this is what he had to say when asked about Elon Musk's actions to cut federal spending.
Mr. President, I wonder what you make of the criticism from Democrats that these staff reductions, the cuts that Elon Musk and Doge are doing are an unlawful power grab. And is there anything you've told Elon Musk he cannot touch?
Well, we haven't discussed that much. I'll tell him to go here, go there. He does it. He's got a very capable group of people. Very capable. They know what they're doing. They'll ask questions and they'll see immediately as somebody gets tongue-tied that they're either crooked or don't know what they're doing. We have very smart people going in. So I've instructed him go into education, go into military, go into other things as we go along. And they're finding massive amounts of fraud, abuse, waste, all of these things. So, but I will pick out a target and I say go in. There could be areas that we won't, but I think everything's fertile. You know, we're a government. We have to be open. And as an open government, I don't know, I guess you could say maybe some high intelligence or something. And I'll do that myself if I have to. But generally speaking, I'll just say go. But he will be looking at education pretty quickly, and he will be looking at military too.
As you know, the bulk of federal spending is Social Security, Medicare, programs like that. Would you like to see him look at those programs as well?
Well, they don't really have to be looked at by him. They can be looked at by us. Social Security will not be touched. It'll only be strengthened.
It's clear Elon Musk is far from done when it comes to these investigations, all of which seem to be backed up by President Trump. Now, moving on, guys. President Trump recently made a huge announcement that is bound to affect the entire nation.
Single-use plastic straws are already banned in several Bay Area cities, including San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley, and Alameda. In those communities, paper straws are the most common alternative used to reduce waste and pollution because they are considered more environmentally friendly. But in Alameda, reactions are mixed on their viability.
It feels a little bit different.
It's a little hard, but it gets the job done.
They may feel more inconvenient sometimes, but that's okay. You know, we have to make these adjustments.
On Truth Social, President Trump posting, quote, "I will be signing an executive order next week ending the ridiculous Biden push for paper straws, which don't work. Back to plastic." It appears the president aims to halt former President Biden's goal of phasing single-use plastic like straws out of federal food service by 2027 and all federal government operations by 2035.
There's got to be a good in-between. You know, there's got to be a good alternative because the paper straws, they fall apart, they're flimsy. But on the other hand, the plastic is convenient, but, you know, in the long run, it's bad for the environment.
Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below.